بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى آله وصحبه ومن والاه. Once again, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
نعم.
Sorry, apologies.
Hello.
Sorry, yeah. So unfortunately, as you guys must have seen in the WhatsApp group, unfortunately, Ustad Akib, his house was broken into last night, I think it was, and unfortunately, he lost his laptop and everything. So, inshallah, I'll try to cover his lessons until inshallah he manages to get another laptop or sort that out, inshallah. So first we'll make dua for him and his family, inshallah. Allah replace whatever they've lost with things that are better, and Allah keep them safe as well, inshallah, and all of us. I mean, okay, so he told me that you guys are going to be starting with Noon Sakin Tanween today, inshallah. If you could let me know exactly what you covered, inshallah, so I can continue on from there, inshallah. So I'm just going to share my screen. Okay. Yeah, so if you guys could let me know, inshallah, where you reached up to. It's page 61. Okay, you've done 61. Okay. Okay, the word Allah rule. So how are you guys feeling in terms of where you've reached up to? Any questions you may have before we move on, do let me know on anything you've done previously. So shall I go through a quick review as well? So a couple of things. If there's any questions you want me to answer that you may have, or any examples that you covered that you were unsure of, and also if you'd like, I'll just do a quick review from this page, inshallah. But yeah, any questions, or press 1 if you're happy to continue, inshallah. Okay, so I've got plenty of ones, mashallah, so you guys should be relatively proficient with what you've learned to so far, inshallah. Okay, alhamdulillah. So bismillah once again. So quick review. Inshallah, I'm just going to go through this quickly today. Inshallah, then, every other lesson I'll try to do a thorough review of everything you've covered so far. So heavy letters. Hopefully you guys have memorized this now, because now it's going to get serious in terms of things you'll have to remember, memorize, and of course implement in your recitation as well. So it's very, very important. Alhamdulillah, you had the whole weekend as well to cover these pages, inshallah. So you have to really, really understand this well up until now, because what you're going to cover now in the next few lessons, it's going to be sort of very heavy content, inshallah. And it can get a bit complicated as well, but inshallah, my job is to try and simplify things as much as possible, inshallah. Okay, so the 7 heavy letters, kha, sad, dad, ta, dha, ghain, qaf. It's always very important to memorize these, as I mentioned in the lesson that I covered last week, to memorize them in order, and you should be able to read this out quickly and without even thinking. So if anyone mentions to you what are the 7 heavy letters, automatically kha, sad, dad, ta, dha, ghain, qaf. Okay, simple as that, inshallah. How do you make a letter heavy? You gotta do all of these things. RASF, it's the made up thing. Raise the back end of the tongue, apply pressure on the makhraj, slow release of the sound, and full mouth, i.e. a build-up of air inside the mouth. That's what creates the heaviness of the letter. The kha, ghain, and qaf, when they have a kasra, it reduces in heaviness. You wouldn't say it becomes light. That would be incorrect to say that technically. So it's not as heavy. So it's slightly less heavy, you could say. Okay. And you'll see this with many things as well. There'll be other rules also, maybe we'll cover some other time, where the quality of the letter, depending on the circumstances, may alter a little bit. But this is getting very technical, and this would be not only a minor mistake, but maybe a very minor to minor mistake. You get what I mean? But inshallah, over time, we want to be able to read that accurately as well, inshallah. But for where we are at the moment, it's perfectly fine, inshallah. Okay, so kha, ghain, and qaf, they reduce in heaviness when they have a kasra. The letter ra rule, ra with a fatha or dhamma is heavy, ra with a kasra is light. If the ra has a sukoon, then you look at the vowel before it, the haraka, whether it's a fatha or a dhamma or a kasra before it, and that would dictate how you read the ra with a sakin. It is something you covered in your previous lesson. It's very similar to letter Ra rule, so it shouldn't be too difficult. So Fatha Dhamma before the word Allah, you recite it heavy. Kasra before the word Allah, you recite it light. So for example, Allahu Akbar. Okay. And Bismillah. Allah, okay, so tell the difference here, Allah and Bismillah. Okay, so inshallah should be straightforward as well. So I'm just going through this quickly, but if I do need to clarify anything, always just ask the question. Don't wait for me to ask if you have any questions. So at any point, if you have any questions, please do ask, inshallah. Okay, throat letters, Hamza, Ha, Ain, Ha, Ghain, Kha. Hamza, Ha from the bottom of your throat, Ain, Ha from the middle of your throat, and Ghain, Kha from the top of the throat. Okay. Qalqala, bouncing sound, Qaf, Dha, Ba, Jim, Dal, when they have a sukoon on top. You read it with a bouncing sound. Remember to keep the bounce heavy for the heavy letters. Hams, sharp breathing sound. How did you guys cope with this? The kaf and ta with the sukoon. Press 1 if you think you're doing quite well with it. Press 2 if you think it's a bit of a struggle. Okay, alhamdulillah, very good, inshallah. We've got 3 ones, 4 ones, 5. Okay, alhamdulillah, very good, inshallah. And as he mentions there as well, there are also other Hams letters, but because these are very standout and very clear when it's not recited, that's why I decided to include this as well in this book. But you don't need to get too technical right now in terms of the intricate qualities of the letters. Okay, it gets into much more detail as well. But inshallah, in the future, that's something you will cover and master as well, inshallah. The simple mud rules, the stretch letters, huruf al-mad. Huruf means letters literally, so letters of stretch. Mad means stretch, so letters of stretch or stretched letters. Fatha before alif, kasra before ya sakin, dhamma before ya sakin. Remember, it's very important to remember these terms as they are taught. It just simplifies things. So fatha before alif, kasra before ya sakin, dhamma before ya sakin. Alternatively, you may see in a different form where you only have this dagger alif kind of thing on top, or fatha before alif, or kasra before ya sakin below, and an upside down dhamma, ulta pesh. Some of you may be familiar with that, as we say in Urdu. Okay, upside down pesh. Okay, the long dhamma over here, dhamma before waw sakin. Then you done the ghunna as well. How are you guys finding the ghunna in terms of practice? Press 1 if you think you're doing quite well. Press 2 if you think that it's a bit of a struggle. Alhamdulillah, many ones, mashallah. Nice to see. And don't feel embarrassed if everybody else is writing 1. I think, I don't want to be the only one writing 2. Don't feel that way, inshallah. If I do need to go through it again, it'll benefit everybody, inshallah. Okay, excellent, mashallah. Okay. So now noon sakin and tanween rules. Okay. So we'll go through this bit of a theory first, and then inshallah we'll try to cover 2 rules today. And then we'll see how we get along, inshallah. Okay, so simply put, noon sakin or tanween, whenever you see a noon sakin or a tanween, okay, you will have one of 4 rules. Okay, it could be any of the 4. Okay, whenever you have noon sakin. So this basically means from this day forward till eternity, inshallah, whenever you see a noon sakin or a tanween, you have to always analyze it. Okay, you always have to think, there's what rule is going to apply. Okay, and how many rules can there possibly be so one of how many rules? I know it's written in there, but I want you guys to repeat, inshallah. So it could be one of how many rules? One of 4 rules. Good. Okay, before we go into further detail, any of you guys learned the Noon Sakin Tanween rules before? Press 1 if you have, even though you may not fully understand it. If you've gone through it before, press 1. If this is something pretty much new to you, press 2. Okay, alhamdulillah. Okay, so as I mentioned, it can get a bit technical and complicated, and that will only happen if you lose concentration. So don't do that, inshallah. Try to stay with me because it's very systematic. You'll get it, inshallah. Okay, so try to remain focused, inshallah. Okay, so once again, whenever you have a noon sakin or a tanween, you're always going to have to stop now and think, okay, what rules are going to apply? Okay, and it's going to be one of 4 rules, and you're going to learn the names of these as well. It's very important to do that. so you know what you're doing, inshallah. So what do we do first and foremost? You see a noon sakin or a tanween. Okay. Why do you think they're bunched together, noon sakin and tanween? Why both of them together? Same sound, very good. Anybody else? Linked together? Okay. In what way? How are they linked? Why would they be linked? Similar makhraj due to the ruling. Okay. Something else I'm looking for. What's embedded within a tanween? The noon, very good. Okay. So if you look over here, son, sin, sun. Okay, although you don't see a noon sakin, it's there, isn't it? It's there. You can hear it, but it's not. It's just not physically written. The noon sakin is not physically written. Nonetheless, it's still there. Okay, ton, twin, tun. Okay, fan, thin, fun. Okay, so it's pretty much the same thing. It's just written in a different way. Okay, so noon sakin and tanween in terms of how the rules will apply, it's going to be the same thing. Okay, is that understood so far? That's one if that's understood, because you hear the noon sakin and tanween sound. Very good. Okay. Okay, so the letter that appears immediately after the noon sakin or tanween will determine which one of the four rules will apply. Okay, so you don't look on top of it, you don't look beneath it, you don't look before it. It's always going to be the immediate letter after the noon sakin or a tanween. Okay, so once again, whenever you see a noon sakin and tanween, from this day forward, forever and ever, inshallah, you're going to stop. And where are you going to look to understand what rule applies? Where do you have to look whenever you see a noon sakin or tanween? Where are you going to look in terms of understanding what rule applies? Very good. The letter after it. Okay, letter immediately after it. Excellent. Okay, alhamdulillah. Okay, so the first rule that we're going to learn is called the Iqlab. Iqlab. Okay, memorize this term, inshallah. Iqlab. And Iqlab literally means to change something. Okay, Iqlab means to change. And the reason why the translation is there and the term is because if you understand what it means, then you know what you have to do. So have a wild guess. When you see Iqlab, what you're going to have to do? You're gonna have to change something. Okay, it's by definition you're gonna have to do that. Okay, and a very important thing as well, you also have to remember the letters that are associated with this rule. Okay, now I've started very easy. Okay, it only has one letter. Okay, inqilab rule will apply when there's a letter ba. Now, where will this letter ba apply? Appear? Will it be before it, under it, on top of it, inside of it, after it? Where are you going to be looking for this ba? Very good. Immediately after a noon, not just noon sakin. Yeah, noon sakin or tanween. Okay, afternoon. So I know that's what you meant, Muhammad, brother Muhammad, but try to be as clear as possible, inshallah, in your explanations, and all of you as well. Okay, inshallah, afternoon sakin or tanween. Okay, very good. Okay, and the reason for that is because if you say it often, you're just gonna naturally remember it. Okay, although I know what you meant, but it's just always practice to do that, inshallah. Okay, okay. So what's the first rule we're gonna learn of noon sakin and tanween? What's the name of the rule in Arabic, first and foremost? Iqlab, very good. And Muhammad Junaid, I think you jumped the gun. That was going to be my next question. Okay, in Arabic it's called Iqlab. Okay, what does Iqlab mean in English? To change, very good. Okay. Um, and what letter has to appear before it in order to apply the Iqlab? So what letter has to appear before Noon Sakin? Okay, that was a bit of a trick question. Not before, it has to be after it. The letter, which letter has to be after it? Mm, not quite, unless you've miswrote that, Brother Muhammad. So Noon Sakin Tanween, and after that there has to be a ba. Yeah, very good, Brother Muhammad. Ba after Noon Sakin. Good. So I was just throwing a spanner in the works there. It has to be after it. Remember? Okay, always going to be after. You always have to look after the Noon Sakin or Tanween. Okay. Maybe that trick question was a bit too early. I don't want to confuse you guys too soon. Inshallah. Okay. So the letter that appears immediately after the Noon Sakin or Tanween will determine which one of the four is that. So the first one was Iqlab in Arabic, which means to change. And the letter you have to memorize with it is the ba. Okay, it's very important you memorize this because the other three rules are going to have other sets of letters. Okay, this one only has one, the others will have multiple. Okay, so nice and easy. It's only the ba you have to remember for the Iqlab. Okay, so all of you memorize this rule verbatim. Okay, if after Noon Sakin or Tanween you see a ba, change the Noon sound into a meme with ghunna. Okay, so I'm going to give you half a minute, let's say. Just say this as fast as you can. Try to, I'll explain it, of course, but just memorize this. Give me 30 seconds. If after Noon Sakin Tanween, you see a ba, change the noon sound into a meme with ghunna. If after Noon Sakin Tanween, you see a ba, change the noon sound into a meme with ghunna. Let's repeat that to yourselves a few times. If after Noon Sakin Tanween, you see a ba, change the noon sound into a meme with ghunna. If after Noon Sakin Tanween, you see a ba, change the noon sound into a meme with ghunna. Okay. So inshallah, hopefully, by the end of today, you're going to memorize this rule and the one we're going to do after this, inshallah, but one thing at a time. So Iqlab, once again, means to change, and it applies when you have the letter ba. Okay, where does the ba have to appear? Immediately after Noon Sakin Tanween. That's why it says, if after Noon Sakin Tanween you see a ba, change the Noon sound into a meme with ghunna, meaning the meme you read with ghunna. Okay, so let's look at this over here. Just annotate it. Okay, so this one here we're looking at. So you see a Noon Sakin over here. Yeah. What letter is after it? What letter is after Noon Sakin? Okay, also you're saying Ba. Good. Very good. So after Noon Sakin, you have the letter Ba over here. Okay. So what's going to happen then? So what chemical reaction is going to happen? So, okay, I understand now. When I see a Noon Sakin or a Tanween, whenever I see that, I have to stop and analyze. And I look at the letter immediately after it, which I've seen over here. Okay, letter Ba is there. Okay. Now what's going to happen? Very good, Muhammad Awad. The Noon. Very good. Okay. Okay. Very good, Shakil. Replace Noon with Meme with Gunna. Very good. So what's going to happen now is that the Noon Sakin, okay, let's start that again. You see a Noon Sakin. Immediately after you see a letter Ba, okay, okay, you see a Ba. Change the Noon sound. Okay, you change the Noon. So you don't change the Ba, you change the Noon sound. In this case, you see the literal Noon there, okay, into a meme. So that's why this little meme is over here as well, okay. That's to tell you, to inform you that this rule is going to apply. Okay, and how do you read this meme? You read it with a ghunna. Okay, ghunna. Okay, so that's why the wavy line, like you done with ghunnas, the wavy line for the ghunna, you're gonna put that underneath the meme. Okay, so after noon sakin, you saw a ba, it's gonna cause a reaction. Okay, where the noon sakin sound will change. Yeah, apologies, I just showed that my connection is quite low. Don't see why that's an issue. Okay, hopefully, let me know if that happens again. I may have to move if that happens again. Okay. So once again, you saw a noon sakin, and then you looked where you looked immediately after it. You saw the ba because okay, you saw the ba. Then what happens? Oops. Okay, so immediately after you saw the ba, so the noon sound will change it to a meme, and you read that with gunna. Okay, so how are you going to say this? You're not going to say min. Okay, why don't I say min? Why do I not pronounce the noon sound? Keep second rule. Very good. The noon has changed now into a meme. That's the rule, isn't it? If after noon sakin and tanween you see a ba, which we see here, change the noon sound. Okay, the min is going to become a meme, isn't it? Change the noon sound into a meme, and you read that with gunna. So instead of saying min, you're going to say meme, meme. Okay, connect the meme to this small meme over here. And how do you read this second meme? This one over here? You read that with gunna. Meme. Okay, make sure you get it deep in the nose. Meme, meme, ba, meme, ba. Okay, so make it long as well, stretch it, elongate it, and deep nasal sound as well. Meme, ba, di. Meme, ba, di. Meme, ba, di. Okay, do you guys think you understand that? Press 1 if you do. Okay, very good. Alhamdulillah. Okay, Faisal, you have a question?
And will the Mus'haf always have the meme there to show the Iqlab rule?
Yes, it should. It should always be there. But now you know,
Okay.
if it doesn't have it, if you see a noon sakin and you see a ba after it, and for some reason, maybe a printing error, if you were to see there's no meme there, you would still know the rule and you'd read it correctly. You'd put the meme there.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, so it's always going to happen. This rule is always going to apply. Sometimes you may see a printing error or something, or it's been like sort of rubbed off, or yeah, bad print. Then at least you know. Okay, there's supposed to be a meme over here. That's why it's very important to understand these rules in theory as well. The reason why this meme is there, and that's why it's one of the reasons. Good that you asked that question. Is that one thing I'm not a fan of at all is color coded tajweed Qurans. Yeah, those I wish they were never made. Yeah, because then a person just becomes reliant on that, and they don't really learn the rules because they just see that and think, okay, I got to do this. But that doesn't really help because it's something which has to be taught, understood as well. And you can only do that, if you actually learned the actual rules as well. So the colors don't really help. It gives an indicator maybe, but it doesn't really help in terms of learning. So my teacher was really anti those color coded Qurans, and that's been passed on to me as well. And yeah, so that's totally banned, prohibited, inshallah, to use. I never use that. Yeah, that's it. If it requires a student to learn it in order to understand what's going on. And likewise, if you were to see a printing error and you were to see that a meme is missing, you'd know, okay, I'm supposed to do a collab over here because I know the rule. Okay, so you say meme ba'di. Okay, okay. So usually I would probably do 2 or 3 examples before I let someone else try, but I think you guys have pretty much got it first time. So who wants to have a go? Raise your hands, inshallah. Let's have a go. Yep, that's well. Okay, Muhammad Rawat, if you want to enable your mic.
Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Salams, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah. Should I do the method first or the
Yeah, so
full
always you have to analyze it. You got to tell me all the rules. Okay, although in the first one that I done, there's no other rules really there.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So with the th and the year is a join.
Okay.
And the raw is a heavy letter.
Yeah.
And then we've got the nun tanween with a bar, so that meme. Sorry, the let me just look at that. So I've got meme.
So just read the rule again on top of it. If afternoon sakin tanween, is that to help you?
So if the noon tanween you see a bar, Oh yeah, because there's no noon, so it can't change to meme.
There is a noon, remember? Tin, how do you say this normally? Tin
Oh,
is
sorry,
an,
yeah, sorry, my mistake. Yeah, didn't.
yeah,
So
that's
yeah,
what that's
sorry,
why that's why
yeah.
in the rule I haven't written change the noon sakin into a meme. It says change the noon sound. Sometimes
Oh
like the
yes,
first example you see it, but other examples like tanween you won't see it, but it'll still be there.
that's right. Yeah, so my mistake. And then there's gunna on it as well.
Good.
So I need to put a gunna, and then the alif and the there's a join there as well.
Yeah.
So if I read
There's
it out,
one more thing. There's one more thing. Anybody help?
oh, the stretch word is
Very good.
yeah.
So what do you call that? What's the rule here?
So kathir,
Kasra
kathir.
before ya sakin. Yeah.
Oh yeah, sorry.
Kasra before ya sakin.
Yeah, so that's
Okay,
a
good.
stretch there. Yeah.
Yeah.
So kathir, kathir,
Now
ra,
just say kafi, because saying thir, kafi.
kathir, kathir, ra, kathira, dim, dim, kathiratim,
And keep the ra heavy. Ratim.
kathiratim, bi'idh, kathiratim, bi'idhni, kathiratim, bi'idhni.
Okay, good. Try to keep it kasra as a bit more e sound. Now bi-izni. So kathiratin bi-izni.
كثيرة بإذنه.
Okay, good. And sorry, who's this reading?
Muhammad Rawat.
Oh no, okay, mashallah, I can tell you Gujarati. I'm Gujarati as well. Because letter ta, we have a problem with the Gujarati community. So try to say more from the tip of the tongue, not tim, but tim, more closer to the teeth. Kathiratim.
كثيرة بإذنه.
Mashallah, much better. The ta was much better. So tip of the tongue, very good. So it's something which obviously you'll have to try to break out the habit, but focus on the ta and dal as well. Okay, because I know I'm Gujarati, so I used to have issues with this as well. When I was studying. So it's a very common mistakes that we make. So ta and the dal and the ta, just make sure it's the tip of the tongue, just right behind the teeth. But yeah, very good, excellent, mashallah. Really well read, alhamdulillah, analyzed as well. Excellent, mashallah. Jazakallah khair. Muhammad Khudabaksh, I think that's how you pronounce it. Is that right?
Yeah, correct.
Yeah.
Assalamu
Okay.
alaikum.
Amsterdam.
Okay, there is Iqlab, Alif, sorry, the Noon Sakin, and there's a bar after it, and you have to put a Gunna sign under it.
Sorry, can I start that again? The volume is a bit low. So start from the beginning.
Okay, there's Iqlab, the Noon Sakin, there's a bar after it.
Very good.
On the Ta, there's hums,
Very good.
and stretch of the Noon, or the Noon stretch, there's Alif of the Noon.
So remember Fatha before Alif. So you mentioned the vowel and then you mentioned the Alif, Fatha before Alif. Okay. And something else I should have actually done, which I forgot to do, it's actually written here as well. For the Iqlab, we'll just write IQ on it. Okay, so over here for the previous one, just write IQ on top. Okay, so remember, the more of this kind of thing you do, the more comfortable you'll become over time, inshallah. Okay, so just trying to get into the habit of writing IQ as well for Iqlab. Okay. Okay, go ahead.
Fa, but,
Good.
but, but, na.
Excellent, mashallah. Your hums is really good, mashallah. Just the ghunna, try to make it more deeper in the nose. So you are stretching it, okay, but the main thing of ghunna is in the nose, okay? So stretching is this. You think of stretching as like a byproduct, right? Necessarily it will happen anyway, but the main focus is that you get it in the nose, deep ghunna in the nose. Like a humming sound. If you just close your lips and go, and you should feel a vibration in the nose.
فأنبتنا.
Okay, very good. So at this stage, you should feel that discomfort, like that vibration in the nose. It is very uncomfortable. but it's about getting into the habit of, and then you'll be fine after that. Okay, but yeah, very good, mashallah. Just try to get that more deep in those. Excellent. Jazakallah khair. Okay, who's next? So the two Abdullahs are done. So raise your hand. I'm going to try to select all of you. Don't hide away. Okay, let me go in reverse order. Okay, who's put the hand? Faisal, go ahead.
Assalamu alaikum.
Salam, Abdullah.
Okay, there's a join between the noon and the sa,
Yep.
and okay, there's also oh yes, there's a qunna for the where the meme is.
Whether what is, sorry?
The meme after the stretch.
Okay, but I need to know the rule. You have to explain the rule to me.
Oh, the rule. It's a Iqlab.
Okay, so why is it Iqlab? How has that happened?
Because there's a tanween on the and then immediately after it there's a ba.
Very good. Okay. Yeah.
And there is, so Saad is a heavy letter.
Good.
And noon, and shadda. There's I don't know. I forgot how you marked it. Shadda.
Okay, so it's not, you don't mark all the shaddas.
You just do the rule without marking it. You just read it like basically.
No. For this one in particular, you will have to. But what's the rule called?
Oh, it's the mad. It's a stretch. Alif, fatha before alif.
Okay, that's right as well. But I'm looking for something else as well.
And
Noon with the shadda, what rule applies?
Oh yes, gunna.
Very good. What are the letters of gunna? So you have the noon.
It's the noon and the meme.
Very good. Noon and meme with the shadda. It's going to be a gunna. Good.
Mm-hmm.
You can connect that.
I think that's everything.
You can sort of connect that if you want. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead.
La nas la nas fa la nas fa am la nas fa am bin bin nas no.
Just nah, you have to shift the nah with it as well.
Yeah, you have to start it. Bin siya bin.
No, just have to bin na for now.
Bin la nasfa am bin si la nasfa am bin si.
Okay, make the sword more heavier. Sound like a scene, so sleep, raise the back and everything, more pressure and so on.
La nasfa am bin si.
Good.
And sin si yeah. لا نسفعا بالناصية تي لا نسفعا بالناسية تي.
Okay, very good, mashallah. Just the sword, keep that more heavier. But really good effort, mashallah. Really good, alhamdulillah. There's a couple of things over here. You are doing it sometimes and sometimes not quite. So there's two ghunnas here in total, one with the iqlab and one with the noon. So you have to keep them consistent in length. Although you were doing it both times, but you can't make one longer than the other. Okay, so they have to be consistent. So for example, sometimes you were saying la nasfa'an binna. So although you didn't ghunna on both, this one was longer and that was shorter. So just try to keep that more consistent. Yeah, alhamdulillah, very good. That was a different example. Excellent. Jazakallah khair. Okay, who wants to do the next one? Raise your hand. Okay, Nuruddin. Okay, I'm not going to give you this one. This one's too easy. I'll do that myself, yeah. So after noon sakin siyaba, Iqlab over here. Let's walk in the park for you guys. And then the gunna and the meme. Okay, then join that together. ذنب ذنب. Okay. Brother Nuruddin, you can read that. How do you pronounce your surname? Quaver? Is that correct? Brother Nuruddin. Enable your mic. Inshallah.
Okay, thank you. Just,
Okay, how do you pronounce your surname?
excuse me, I couldn't hear this.
Yeah, I can hear you. I can hear you.
Okay, that one. Okay.
All right, go on. How do you pronounce your surname? Sorry. Is it
Cueva.
Cueva? Okay.
Sí. Yes, yes.
Sí, señor.
Well, we have the Iqlab,
Very good. Why? Why is there a club?
because after the noon sakin, there is a ba.
Very good. So what happens when you have a nun sakin after ba? Sorry, ba after nun sakin.
So the noon is transformed into mim with gunna.
Very good. Excellent.
We mark the gunna.
Yeah.
Then we have to join ku with mim at the end.
Yeah. Okay.
And I think that's it.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay, let's see. Ba ambata ambatakum.
Very good. Excellent. Perfect. MashaAllah. Jazakallah khair. Okay, let's one more person because we'll do the next one. I think you guys have understood this very well. So, Brother Shakil, you can do the next one.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.
Assalamu. Okay, let me get you to do this one over here.
This
It's a tricky one. Tricky one. Take your time.
meme to ta. There's a connection, and ta is a heavy letter, and there's a iqlab. There's a there's a tanween after ba, so the noon sound noon becomes a meme with a gunna iqlab.
Very good.
Yeah, and ba to ba to lam connection, and alif to ya.
Yeah.
And there's a stretch because there is a fatha before alif. There's a stretch.
Very good. Anything else?
And there is I think that's all.
There's three more things actually.
Oh, three more.
Yeah.
Uh,
A good point. So you said it's heavy. Anything else happening here?
yeah. Qalqala, sorry. Yeah.
Very good. Yeah, so qalqala and heavy here. Good.
Qalqala heavy. Yeah, that's right. And there is a stretch as well. And there's a stretch at because there is it's kasra before yasakin.
Very good. Anything else?
Sorry. Yeah, it's yeah. Here also we have that gunna sound.
Very good. Very good. Okay. So you see, it's only a couple of words, but so many different things are happening here. Okay. Bismillah, go ahead. Oh, yeah, so don't make it too strong, otherwise it's going to sound like you're putting a fatha on it. So mutta. Good.
in
Okay,
So
so
here, just one clarification, sir. So here we have so noon is, oh sorry, you have to read the noon and then meme.
yeah, together. Yeah, because they're connected. You'll have to read them together.
Noon. Okay. Mutma'innum.
Very good.
Innum. Mutma'innum. Bil. 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 Billah.
Yeah. So before you move on, just say from the beginning. Tell Bill.
مطمئن بالله.
Now here you gotta do this. The kasra before yasakin. Now Bill and then E.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, sorry. Bill. E. 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 Ni.
No, so okay. So go back from the beginning. Moto tell E.
مطمئن بالإيني.
You know E, and then so that's a meme over here. Ma.
Mani. Okay. Sorry. Yeah. مطمئن بالإيمان.
Very good. Again together.
مطمئن بالإيمان.
Yeah, very good. Just make the one a bit more longer. You were doing it all this time, just the last time. A bit shorter. So مطمئن بالإيمان. مطمئن بالإيمان.
مطمئن بالإيمان.
Very good. Excellent. MashaAllah. Really good effort. Alhamdulillah. Has everyone understood how the Iqlab works? I'm going to go through one more rule. I just realized 45 minutes have passed, but we'll go through another rule, inshallah. Okay, press 1. A question here, go ahead. Nuruddin.
Yes, in the last word that in this mutma'im, I don't understand why it sounds with noon. If we're supposed to replace the noon with mim.
Good question. Yeah, question. Okay, so imagine, okay, let me just write it up. Sorry, excuse my terrible writing. Can you read what I've written here? Also, so there's Hamza and the Noon over here. So, Nuruddin, Innu, isn't it? Innu. Okay, good. If I put a tanween on it, dhammatain, 2 dhammas, what would that become?
Okay, because
Yeah.
of the tanween. Okay.
Very good. Very good. That's it. Yeah. So it has to be a noon sakin or tanween. Okay. So in this case, not a noon sakin. You have a tanween, isn't it? So the noon from the tanween is what gets replaced. Very good. Good question, mashallah. Excellent. Okay. Anybody else? Any questions or happy to move on? Press 1 if you're happy to move on. If you have any questions, just ask, inshallah. Okay, alhamdulillah. Very good. Okay, so before we move on to the next part, I noticed it's not a major thing, but it's very important for us to understand it now before we move on. What letter is this over here? So after the lam, you have one letter there. Let's write it down. Okay. Anyone disagree? Okay. What letter do we have here now? One of circles. Okay. Show you another one. After the fa, what letter do we have here? Now you guys may be thinking, such an easy question this guy's asking, like, does he think we're like 3-year-olds or what? Okay, because you're all actually wrong. How? That's not an alif. Okay, Muhammad Wada Baksh says it's Hamza. Interesting. Is it Hamza, everyone? Why is it Hamza? Any idea? Okay, technically, because you can't join Hamza. No. That's the Shakil, very good, Adam. It's an empty sound. Okay, very good. Alif is an empty sound. Now, it's it's not really a rule, but it's just how it really works. Whenever Alif has a symbol, technically, it's a Hamza. You don't call it Alif. Okay, so if Alif or the straight line, Alif looking thing, if it has a Fatha or a Kasra or a Dhamma or a Sukun or a Shadda, technically, it's going to be called a Hamza. Okay, it's going to be called a Hamza. Does that make sense? So whenever this Alif, what looks like an Alif, a straight line here, if it has any markings like a Fatha or a Kasra or a Dhamma or a Shadda or a Sukun, what does it become? Becomes a Hamza. Very good. Okay. So let me ask you this question. This over here, what letter is that? After the Noon, the one I've circled, what letter is that? Alif. Excellent. Okay. What letter is this after the Ba? What letter is this? Hamza. Why is this as Hamza? What's the reason for that being Hamza? Because it's got a vowel on it, it's got kasra on it, it's got any of those symbols, fatha, kasra, dhamma, shadda, or sukun. Alhamdulillah. Very good. Okay, so remember that you no longer call it alif anymore, you call it Hamza. Alif has to be on its own. Okay, so we saw over here. Okay, it's on its own without any vowel markings of itself. It's going to be an alif. If it has a vowel marking or a shadda or a sukun, it's going to be a Hamza. Okay, excellent. So quick recap before we move on to the next part. Inshallah, next one will be very easy. You'll have to memorize something which you can do for homework, inshallah, but in terms of understanding wise, it should be pretty straightforward. Okay, so what rule do we cover today? What's the name in Arabic? Iqlab, very good. Okay, what does Iqlab mean in English? To change, very good. Okay, what letter is associated with Iqlab? No, you didn't say noon, because this is noon's going to be for all of these four. Okay, but this Iqlab in specifically is the letter Ba. Okay, very good. Okay, now, so we said it means Iqlab. Sorry, in Arabic it's Iqlab. It means to change. It's associated with letter Ba. Okay, what changes? What change happens? What do you change? Okay, what do you replace with meme? You said change to meme. What do you change to meme? Noon to meme. Very good, noon sound. Okay, very good. Remember, it's the noon that changes. Very good. Alhamdulillah, you guys didn't get that wrong. A lot of times people say, okay, the ba changes into a meme. No, the ba doesn't change. Noon sakin sound. It's all about, it's revolving all around the noon sakin or the tanween, the noon sound specifically. Okay, it's always about the noon. Something's gonna happen to the noon sound or tanween when it's hidden. Okay, very good. Excellent. The ba is what causes the change. Ba is the reason for noon changing. If ba doesn't change, ba is the reason for the noon sound changing. Excellent. Very good, alhamdulillah. Okay, let's go through the next one now. Okay. The next one is called Izhar. Okay, it's supposed to be a dha, so not Izhar, not trousers. Muhammad Rawat, you'd know that. Not Izhar, not Ijar. Okay, not trousers in Gujarati. In Gujarati, Izhar means trousers, yeah. So it doesn't mean trousers, it means clear. Okay, Izhar, or in Urdu, you say Zahir. Okay, something that becomes apparent. Okay, something which is clear. Okay, so the first rule was called Iqlab. The second one is called Izhar. What does Izhar mean? I know it's written there, but just write it again, inshallah. It means clear, very good. And what letters are associated with Izhar? This is right in front of your eyes. Very good. Throat letters, Hamza, Ha, Ain, Ha, Ghain, Kha. Okay, so in the first rule that we learned, the Iqlab, what happened if for that rule, Iqlab, going back to Iqlab again, what happened? Something had to change. Okay, for Izhar, guess what's going to happen? How do you read it? How do you read Izhar? Take a wild guess. Clear, very good. Okay, now what do you think? Okay, what do you think? Sorry, I'm reading the answer for my question. Okay, what do you think is recited clearly? The Hamza, Ha, Ain, Ha, Ghain, Kha, is that what it's talking about? Anybody else? Adam says Noon. Very good. Noon or Tanween. Very good. The Noon sound. The Noon sound in Noon Sakin Tanween. Very good. Okay. Now, take a wild guess. What letters have to appear after Noon Sakin for the Noon sound to be read clearly? So, which letters have to appear after Noon Sakin Tanween for the Noon sound to be read clearly? Thought letters. Very good. Excellent. MashaAllah. Alhamdulillah, you guys are on board with this. MashaAllah. Excellent. Okay. That's it. If after Noon Sakin or Tanween, so memorize this as well, yeah? If after Noon Sakin or Tanween you see any of the throat letters, i.e. Hamza, Ha, Ain, Ha, Ghain, Kha, read the Noon sound clearly. Okay? Now, go ahead, Shakil, question.
Ustad, so I don't understand this rule because if why only this black letters? If there are any other letters, we'll just read it proper normally, isn't it?
Yes, no. If there are other letters, then it's going to be the third or the fourth rule. Remember, there are 4 rules related to Noon Sakin Tanween. We've done the first one, Iqlab.
Okay.
Second one is good question.
So we'll come.
Okay.
Okay, sure.
Very good. And this is the reason why in the book, and the way I teach it is that I teach the Iqlab first, because if I had taught you the Noon Sakin Tanween, if I had taught you Izhar letters first, Izhar rule, you'd be thinking, Ustad, but don't you read everything clearly? Isn't Tajweed about reading everything clearly? So you'd be like, okay, it's a rule, but I don't understand why it's a rule. You guys get the point what I'm trying to make? That's why I teach the second. I teach Iqlab first. But generally in Tajweed books, you probably see Izhar rule first, and then something else. Okay. The reason why I put the second is so you understand that sometimes certain things happen where you don't really clearly or whatever. Okay. So yeah. Okay. Alhamdulillah. So once again, if after Noon Sakin or Tanween you see any of the throat letters, Hamza, Ain, Ha, Ghain, Kha, read the Noon sound clearly. Okay. So you just read this however you read it. Okay. There's nothing different going to happen. It's just now you know the rule, name of the rule behind it. Okay. So am I going to change the Noon into a ba over here? No, because there's no ba after it. Sorry, am I going to change the Noon into a Meme over here with the Gunna? No, because it's not Iqlab rule. Okay. What letter is after Noon Sakin here? Anybody else? I've got a few Hamzas here. Anybody else? What letter is after Noon Sakin over here? Okay, Hamza. Why is it Hamza? Has a vowel on it, has a marking on it. Where you guys got a fatha, you guys got a vowel, any of the symbols, fatha, kasra, dhamma, sukun, or shadda, it becomes a Hamza technically. Okay, so the rule applies here. If after Noon Sakin then we see a throat letter, you do after Noon Sakin you see Hamza, which is a throat letter. So you read the Noon sound clearly. So you're going to say min. Let's annotate it. Okay, so Mim and Noon joins together, Hamza and Ha joins together. Min min li min ahli. Okay, so you always have to still annotate. That's why you put the IZ there, is for Izhar. Okay, get into the habit of writing IQ for Iqlab and IZ for Izhar. So Noon Sakin, remember, whenever you see that or you see a Tanween, always analyze it. Look what comes after it. And what comes after it will tell you what rule applies. Okay. Okay. Is that understood? Press 1, if that makes sense. Okay, very good. Let me do one more. Yeah, there's no gunna there. There's no gunna. There's nothing happening. It's just you read it as you read it, as you see it. So no changes happening. Let's look at this one over here. Okay, let's analyze it. Okay, ya, wow joins together. You have a tanween here, so I gotta stop now. Remember, noon sakin tanween, I gotta always take a break and see. Okay, so where do I look? When I see a tanween, where do I have to look? Okay, it's got hamza before it, yeah? Because of this hamza, it's gonna be idhar, right? Right or wrong? Is this hamza the reason why that's idhar over here? No, why not? Why am I wrong? Good, you have to look at the letter after it. What comes before it doesn't matter. That's not going to be relevant to this rule. Okay, it's going to ayn. Ayn is a throat letter, so it's going to be idhar. So if it's idhar, how do I read the noon sound? How do I read it? Clearly. Very good. Excellent. You have the lam and the ya, putting that together. Then you have fatha before alif over here, you got to stretch that. So it's going to be yawma, yawma, I, yawma, I, then. No, I'm not going to say then. I'm not going to change it into a meme. I'm not going to say then. No, it's clear. Why? Because it's hard. يومئذ يومئذ ع يومئذ علي يومئذ عليها يومئذ عليها يومئذ عليها. Okay, very good. Let me give another example here. So I'm writing freehand, so do forgive my poor writing skills. That part doesn't matter anyway. Okay, this is a letter ya. Okay, what rule applies there? So you have meme, you have noon sakin here, you have letter ya over here. Is it going to be iqlab over here? Press 1 if you think iqlab, press 2 if you think no. Okay, so that must mean then, okay, it's not iqlab. That must mean then it's idhar, right? Do I read this clearly? No? You sure? Yeah, he's not a throat letter. Very good, Muhammad. Very good. So what's going to happen here? So I don't read this clearly. Okay, you're a bit further ahead. Okay, no problem, inshallah. We're almost finished anyway. Read it as it is. No, you don't. Okay, so the answer should be, for now, it's going to be one of the other two rules which we haven't covered yet. Okay, some of you may be aware of the rule from before. Okay, but for now, after noon sakin and tanween, you see a letter ya, it could be wow, it could be jim, it could be kaf. It's letters we haven't covered yet. We've only covered letter ba for iqlab and hamza, ha, ain, ha, ghain, kha, the throat letters for idhar. Okay, if something else, then it's either going to be rule number 3 or number 4. Okay, so it's very important to remember that. Okay, good. And we'll come to that inshallah tomorrow. But yeah, that's it. That's pretty much it for today. So we've learned 2 new rules, alhamdulillah, idhar and iqlab. Memorize them, inshallah, very important to understand. So the name of the rule, iqlab, what does it mean? It means to change. What letter is associated with it? Letter ba. Okay, iqlab, change ba. Okay, what happens, the whole process. And for idhar, what does that mean? What does idhar mean? What's the meaning of idhar? Translation. Anybody know? Clear, very good. Okay, what does Izhar mean in Gujarati? I mentioned that earlier. Muhammad Rawat, you can't answer that. Trousers. Come on, man. All right, okay. Yeah. So you learn some Gujarati in this lesson as well, inshallah. Okay. So yeah, it means, so Izhar means, Izhar means clear. Very good. And what letters are associated with that? The Hamza, Ha, Ain, Ha, Ghain, Kha. And that's it. So what to do is, for your homework, inshallah, send it to Ustad Aqib. He sent his new number on the group as well. You can send him examples of Iqlab and Izhar, mainly the Iqlab ones. Okay, so try to pick, I don't know, how many words does he get you to send over to him? I mean, Jazakallah khair. Between 5 to 20. Okay, mashallah. 7, okay. So what I would say is send him 4 examples from, or 5. Yeah, so send more of Iqlab than you do of Izhar. Okay, and try to pick the tricky examples. Okay, it doesn't necessarily have to be from this book as well. Okay, if you're reading Quran, if you open the Quran, you try to identify this now. Okay, try to look for the small memes, and then you'll see that it's going to be Iqlab rule. So you can possibly send examples from there as well, or you can keep it from the book. But inshallah, maybe send 4 of the Iqlab and 3 of Izhar, or 5 Iqlab and 2 Izhar examples, inshallah. Okay, alhamdulillah, very good, very productive lesson, mashallah, covered quite a bit. And alhamdulillah, you guys are understanding it really, really well, mashallah. May Allah increase you in understanding and khair and barakah in what you're trying to achieve, inshallah. But yeah, I think we'll keep it to that. Any questions before your day, inshallah? No? Okay. Jazakumullah khairan, subhanallah bihamdi, subhanak Allahumma nashhadu. Okay, go ahead, brother Adam. Before we conclude. Feel free to enable your mic if you want. So that's easier. Adam, you still there? It'll be read with ghunna. For Iqlab, the meme will be recited with ghunna. So deep nasal sound, like how you do normal ghunna with the shadda, noon with the shadda, meme with the shadda, the same level. There's technicalities where you can read it a slightly different way, but we're not there yet. It's fine. If you read it with normal ghunna, that's totally fine. There's difference of opinion exactly how you pronounce it. So we're only going to learn the one way for now. It's just easier. And that's the most common as well. Most established, most scholars would say that's the more correct one, although there's a difference of opinion as well. But just do it like a normal ghunna, inshallah. Okay, good question. Okay, alhamdulillah. If you have any questions, feel free to ask on the group. Feel free to directly message me as well if you need to. I'm probably fine with that, inshallah. Or as usual, Ustad Aqib, you can ask him as well, inshallah. So, jazakumullah khair, inshallah. May see you tomorrow. We'll see what's happening with Ustad Aqib, inshallah. Keep him and his family in your du'as, inshallah. Jazakumullah khair. Subhanallah bihamdi. Subhanak Allahumma nashhadu an la ilaha illa anta nastaghfiruka wa natubu ilayk. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.